I call it reward. It's like replacing expectation with appreciation. Because no matter what you have, if you could just find some joy in that one little piece of thing that you have in your life, that one little thing can brighten things up.
You're listening to the Icandemy Podcast, the podcast for people who can but don't know how. This is where you get actionable steps to turn vague dreams into blissful realities. And I'm your host, Omoshala Victoria Wolabi. So let's get started. Hello and welcome. I cannot believe that we are in the last month of the year. How fast did 2019 go? Oh my goodness. But I'm equally excited and petrified at the same time because now is the time where you get to take stock, take inventory. What did I achieve this year? What is left to do? But at the same time, I'm equally excited that we get to move into 2020. Things are looking pretty good and exciting, and I just cannot wait to see what next year has in store for everybody. Now, I don't know if you noticed though, last month I tried something with the podcast. I started to release the episode based around themes, and the theme for last month was finding your purpose, uncovering your purpose, and that was what we talked about for the 4 episodes of November. Now in December though, I'm going to be focusing on adversity. How do you overcome adversity? I will be talking to people who have overcome adversity as a way to encourage you to look beyond the pain and find the purpose in that. Now, and on that note, I would love to introduce my guest for today. My guest is one who knows adversity all too well. He is an entrepreneur and an adversity coach. This entrepreneur started multiple 7-figure businesses and lost it all, and then built it back up again and lost it all again. Can you relate? Do you know what that feels like? To actually build a 7-figure business, lose it, build it back up again, and lose it again. This is what he's here to share with us today, and I cannot wait to talk to Thomie. Thomie Isreal is a phenomenal guy. I'm actually amazed at his energy, his tenacity, his grit, his positivity. You want to listen up for this one. Because I don't know about you, I love to learn from people who have been in the trenches, who have gone through it and now bear the scars. I love to learn from people like that, people that actually know what it feels like to be exactly where you are. I just don't want you to tell me the theory of it. I want you to show me the scars and tell me how to get back up again, because you have been exactly where I'm trying to go. And you want to listen to Thomie because Thomie is an entrepreneur who in the last 20 years has built multiple 7-figure businesses. Thomie knows what it feels like to dine with celebrities. Thomie knows what it feels like to mix business with pleasure. Thomie knows what it feels like to diversify your business. Thomie knows what it feels like to work a minimum wage job as a stepping stone to a 7-figure business. Thomie also knows or has the secret formula that can help all of us get through adversity. Through his proven method, REWA, you can find him motivating people on his podcast, The Daily Bag, or on his Instagram. I implore you to follow him at Finding Summit, because if you just need that extra boost for the day, you're going to find him there. And I just want to shout out Thomie for being the first courageous man to come on the podcast. Whoop, whoop. Thank you so much for coming, Thomie.
I mean, it's really an honor to be on your show. Just knowing you and what you've been through and what your story is and your progress, it's an honor to be on your show.
Oh, thank you. That's cool. So Thomie, just tell us a bit about yourself. Who's Thomie? Yeah.
Thomie Isreal is a man from New York City. Within New York City, I'm from a place called Harlem, New York. Just growing up there, single parent, both times. So I'm fortunate when I say that I have had opportunity to live with my mother for a time. Then I was living with my father for a time, but never with both parents together. But I'm a father. I'm an entrepreneur. I like to say that I would like to be a giver. I wasn't born with the name Thomie Isreal. I gave myself that name with the hope that I could live by it, stand by it, and when it's all said and done and I have passed on, that I lived up to it.
Right, right, right. Something really interesting happened that actually triggered your journey into entrepreneurship when you were a child. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I think it goes back to where I lived in Harlem, New York. Harlem is a very, very competitive place. I mean, very competitive. So I think in that stage, just not having, for the lack of things. But I like to point out, my mother passed away when I was 11, right? So I went into foster care. And in foster care, I remember something that happened that changed my life forever. It was an Easter Sunday, and we was young, maybe 12 years old. And me and her son, she gave us $26 to go Easter shopping to get clothes. Now, and not even $26, we had $26 to split. So he had 13, I had 13. I just was thankful because, the lady's taking care of me and I'm home, hey, let's see what I could do with $13. Can't even do much. Even in the 80s, you couldn't do much with $13.
Yeah.
So I go shopping, I scramble, just give me a nice shirt. And her son comes back with the shirt, the socks, the sneakers, and pants. So I felt some kind of way. So I went and I told the lady, I said, ma'am, you gave your son more than me. Even though he didn't tell me, I knew that in my heart. I said, ma'am, you gave your son more than me. And she looked at me and she said, I supposed to. He's my son. And I knew at that point that I had to be my own mother, my own father, that I had to be able to provide for myself from that point on. And that's when I think I started on the entrepreneur journey, just like doing all I can, like packing bags, washing car windows on the highway, selling air fresheners, whatever I can get my hands on to do at that young age. That's what I did, just to be an earner, just so I can have, so I never had to go back to that lady again.
Whoa. And how old are you when this happened?
I was about 12 years old because my mother passed at 11. So I was about 12 years old, maybe 13 at that point, just working hard. And I like to say something. In my entrepreneur journey, I did have my father. And you got to think, I grew up in the 80s, right? I did have my father. After the foster care, my father wound up coming and get me out of foster care and started taking care of me. And in his house, my father was an entrepreneur, but in his house, he would always have a Black Enterprise magazine. Always had a Black Enterprise magazine. In the 80s, nobody wanted to be, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Where I'm from, in the 80s, no one wanted to be Michael Jordan. No one wanted to be a doctor. The young kids, we saw in our environment, we wanted to be who we saw. And it was the drug dealer guys or the cool guys or we thought was the cool guys.
Right.
But me always seeing that Black Enterprise magazine installs something inside of me that men or Black men in my community, there's more to that in the world. Just what I'm seeing. There's men who honestly have businesses and making money. They are Black doctors or they are scientists, they are businessmen, people have car dealerships. My friends didn't get a chance to see that. So I like to point that out, that my father he never told me to read it or anything like that, but subconsciously it burned into my mind because I used to just look through the magazine. You see what I'm saying? At 14, 15, I was inspired by that. So I don't want to leave that out because I think that was really important to spark in me down the road.
Right. That's cool. That's cool. So you had several businesses, right?
Yes.
Good businesses making good money, right?
Good money, yes.
How did those businesses come about? What led to you eventually deciding, you know what, obviously as a child, you've always been a hustler. You learned about entrepreneurship from your dad and from the magazines you were reading. But what was that pivotal moment when you decided, I just want to go all in on entrepreneurship? And did you have a job before that? Like, what was the significant moment? Yeah.
Let me take you, if I can, let me bring you all the way back. I had a newspaper route in New York City, right? This was my first in Dover. I had a newspaper route. We don't really have routes in New York City. It's a little different. You just have a spot, a place where you have stand and there's a lot of traffic that comes through there. Right, it's a little different than anywhere else. We don't like way New York City is set up. You can't go around throwing newspapers, so you have to have a spot with a lot of traffic. I wound up developing a newspaper spot that only did like 15 papers a day to over 1,500 papers a day. What I did was knew what I had the customer service. I remember get to know the people. The people will like you because we was only getting a nickel a paper, but the tips is what you was looking for. So I got to know the people names and I got to know their daughter's name and their wife's name. So we would have like a exchange. Hey, Mr. Davis, how are you? How's the wife? how's Terrence? He's off to college this year. See, now you have a rapport with the people, right? So I think that's where I think I developed the customer service. I took that newspaper stand and just duplicated it and just put other guys there and duplicated the stands in those spots and taught people, make sure you do that with them. Get to know your customer. Get them personal. Have a emotional exchange with them. And that's where it started.
Right.
I wound up getting from a business. I had another business was called Urban Horses. Now, Urban Horses was my little baby. It's my little venture. I started with a dishwashing job. And in the dishwashing job, I saved up all the money. I got my income taxes and a year of savings, and I bought one vehicle. The dream in that goal, the goal inside was the music industry, because I wanted to have a business that was cool, and I could still be cool and not have to be a part of what was going on in urban America, yet be cool. So I started a company and it wanted to cater to the music industry, but I knew the only way to get to the music industry, there was no applications you could fill out or anything. You had to actually get pulled in. It was like a secret society. So I knew that the rappers wanted to be the cool guys, right? And the cool guys wanted to be the rappers. So I knew if I get all the cool guys to love my car service, the rappers would follow. And that's how it started. And I got all the cool guys, and the rappers wanted to be them. So it was like, wow, that's your driver? And they wanted to be what the cool guys was doing. And that's how I got into the music industry, and we started dominating in the music industry. And we talking about the late 90s, early 2000s, when the music industry really had money. We talking about to get in the car was like $100. It was a $60 an hour, 2 hour, $65 an hour, 2 hour minimum. So if you sat in the car and went around the block, it was $130. So this is pre-Uber. This is pre-Uber, and this is when the music industry really had money flowing through it. And we had every hip-hop record label. We talking about Def Jam, Murder Inc., So Def, you name it, we had it. Any rapping label that was coming up, we had Mariah Carey, anything that was happening that was moving transportation-wise, Urban Horses was involved. And that was the endeavor. That was a great endeavor. That was a great experience. There's a long story to that. I don't know.
Yeah. So just to be clear, Thomie, you had like a chauffeur service for celebrities, basically, at the time.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, at the time. Yes.
Cool.
Great business.
Right. So that business was thriving, right?
Yes.
And you then went into recycling of cardboard to China.
Yes, what is true. But can I, if you don't mind, can I tell you how, this is very important because I want your listeners to learn something. I lost that business.
Sure.
I lost that business, and that business, and let me say, I never had a $10 million. I never had $100 million. I just never made it up to that level, but I had $1 million businesses, right? With such great potential. And that business, I lost it because I got too entangled with the clients. I didn't separate business and pleasure. I didn't separate business and personal. They're two separate entities. And what happened, I got too involved in these guys with these rappers and these movie stars, and they would call me and they would say, hey, we got such and such artists. We need one car for her and one car for the gun holders. And I would agree to that. And that caused me to get myself in some hot legal trouble. And the judge had no mercy on me. He sent me away for a decade.
When you say sent you away, he sent you to prison for a decade?
Yes, he sent me to prison. Yes, for a decade.
Wow.
Yes. A decade. Yeah. And so I wanted to just point that out because I wanted your people who run businesses, you come across shady people. And sometimes you have to be able to stand your ground and tell them, no, I'm not going to do that. Sometimes that carrot that's dangled in front of you, that carrot can look so enticing, but you better believe if you bite it, it's going to be poison. And you know what's going to hurt? Your family is going to be the one that hurt. Your loved ones are going to be hurt. They're going to move on with their lives. And you're the one who bit that dangling carrot. And all you're going to do is get sick to your stomach. So if that happens, I just want to put that out to your audience because as your business grows, you're going to come across some shady deals, or you might feel that, hey, let me cheat this way or cheat that way. And sometimes that carrot isn't as sweet as it looks.
Right. Thomie, can you just expand on a particular scenario that triggered the chain effect that led to you going into prison? What was that particular moment where you thought, oh, I could have just said no and avoided this?
You know, I wanted to be the it guy, right? Because, you know, I wanted to be the one that they can count on because there was other car services out there. So I wanted to be the one that all the rappers was able to count on. So when it started, when I did it the first time, and they was able to tell their friends and all the calls started coming in from this angle of the business, at that point, I should have known. At that point, I should have stood up because people respect you as a man, as a person, right?
Right.
Men, women, they're going to respect you as a business person if you say no. I didn't. I wanted to be it. You got to think my life was like a video back then. I would get the itinerary coming off the facts and it'd be a list of just famous people. And I would just pick who I wanted to be with and just farm out the rest to the other drivers, So you're looking at, oh, I could be with Mariah today. Oh, no, I'll be with Jay-Z. Oh, no, I'll be with Damon. You see, so I got caught up in that mix and it cost me dearly.
Right.
It cost me dearly. And so I lost that company. And you got to think, I don't even have a high school education. So some people have like these multi-million-dollar business. I'm happy with making $1 million. I'm happy with making $250,000 a year. I'm happy. Right?
Yeah,
Because I don't
that's
have
still a lot of money.
that formal education. I'm used to look like a guy that's coming from urban America, like New York City, Harlem, in a mix of this a tough time. Though my friends are not making it out. Like a lot of my friends are not making it out of that era. So I'm fortunate, I'm blessed, and I can't be. You can't when you're blessed and God gives you something, or your higher being give you something. You gotta appreciate that. And you gotta nurture it like your baby. So I lost that business and I just had to start all over. I had to start all over. You have to be able to get up and we started it all over.
Hey everybody, it's Amoshala here with a quick word from our sponsors. You see, when you decide to become an entrepreneur, one thing you do not realize you're signing up for is actually the amount of skills that you need to learn, especially if you're bootstrapping your business and trying to do a lot of things yourself. So things like building a website, social media marketing, photography, those are skills that you need when you're getting started as an entrepreneur. And that was what I was quick to realize when I started my business. But hey, Skillshare came to the rescue. With Skillshare, I was able to go there and take tutorials from people who have been exactly where I was, but are now experts in their field. So whether you're trying to build your website, trying to learn how to market your product on social media, or trying to improve on your communication and facilitation skills, Skillshare has got you. With Skillshare, you're able to learn new skills fast and effectively with step-by-step guided tutorials. And as a lovely listener, Skillshare has been kind enough to allow our listeners 2 months free of premium Skillshare. So to access 2 months free of premium Skillshare, click on the link below in the show notes. Okay, so let me understand the sequence here. So you went to prison for 10 years and then you came out of prison. Was that when you started the other recycling business?
Yes. I started a second business, just working hard again. Dishwashing, that's like my go-to. I go back to dishwashing because it's a high turnover rate. If you work hard, you can get all the overtime you want because no one wants to do it. Everybody calls out. So if you're a hard worker, you'll be able to accumulate and you never have to pay for food. So you're saving all your money, you're working hard, you never have to pay for food because you're a dishwasher, so you're working in a restaurant.
Right.
So I go back there, save up all the money, and I started another company with a friend. Not with a friend, but a friend told me about it. It was called cardboard. He said that all the cardboard in New York City, you can package it up and sell it to China. And I didn't believe him. I had just got a minivan and it cost me, my credit was bad, so it cost me like $150 a week, like with a buy here, pay here, where you just pay off the car every week. So I needed them to make an extra $150. I told the guy, hey, I could pack my van up with the cardboard. All I'm trying to do is make $150 a week and I could do it with you all part-time. So I wound up turning that idea, his idea, which was collecting the cardboard in that minivan, up to a position where I was hoping to make $150 a week, and got that business in a year up to $150,000 a year. In a year, $150,000, just collecting cardboard in New York City. I wound up at the peak of that business. I had 5 employees. I had 8 employees, 5 of them full time, 3 of them part time.
Wow. How long did it take you from when you went back to work, dishwashing, to actually getting the business started?
Always a 1-year process. Always a 1-year process because you can save, and you wait for the income tax. That's the key.
Right.
When you're trying to study with, for me anyway, that's the key. Like I would save, and then save, and then add on my income tax check and come up with an idea. because I have the work ethic. I just need an idea to come to me, and then I'll just put my back behind any business that I believe in. So that's very important in entrepreneurship. You have to believe in it. You have to, because you're going to have to work hard at it. So you have to believe in it. So you believe in the process at the same time. So that was the process to Cardboard. And Cardboard was a great, great company. It was a great business. It got me to able to, manage men. It got me to see young guys, develop young guys, and show them about manhood. It got just to see them smile with their families, and they have young children, and to see them smile and get their first apartment, get their first car. That was a great experience for me, that business. And that also came to a funny kind of shaky end.
I was going to ask you about that, because I know that kind of ended as well. So what happened?
With Cardboard, what happened was when Trump came in, and I blame nothing on anyone's administration, but when my president, Trump, came into office, he started a tariff with China. So it upset import-export. So the tariff he put on them for X amount of billions of dollars, political stuff, they, in exchange, said, we're not going to buy no more recycling from you guys. And the cardboard was in that recyclable. So it hurt me as a businessman, but I had already with the money saved, I was supposed to already make the transition, and I didn't. What I did was, with the money, I started gambling because I thought it would turn around. I'm not knowing the political side, thinking it's going to stay like this forever. I'm thinking it's going to turn around. So I was bleeding $7,000 a week trying to keep the company open. So I said to myself, maybe I can gamble. I was already a gambler. And this bug inside of me of being a gambler was already inside me. So I'm thinking, maybe I can gamble and keep the company alive until things turn around. And that was like throwing gasoline on the fire, because when you looked up, the whole building was on fire, and I lost everything. I woke up at February. I tell you this, this is an actual fact. I was at the Mayweather fight. He was fighting McGregor, and he's in Vegas, and I'm at this big Mayweather fight. This was my birthday weekend, so it's like August 26th. The weekend of August 26th, and one of my best nights ever. I'm really feeling good this night. This is 2017.
Right.
By February 2nd, 2018, 6 months later, I was homeless, living on the train. Just 6 months later, you're talking about having 6 figures saved to living on the subway train.
In 6 months?
In 6 months. And saying, I'm talking about New York City, we sleep on the A train because it's a long run. It runs through all the boroughs, but it opens up. It's a reality check, because it opens up in like an area with like a beach area. So when it opens up, and that cold New York City cold comes in off that shore, and it gets up under your clothes, and it wakes you up. And I remember it waking me up one day, and I mean standing me up. That's how cold it was. It got up under my clothes, and I remember waking up and looking at the rest of those homeless people on that train. I said, I gotta do something. I gotta get back. This is not me. Like, come on, bro. Like, shake it off. Like, let's go. Let's get it back. And that started a whole new process. That started a whole nother process.
Right. Wow, you have such amazing stories, Thomie.
Right.
What has been the biggest lesson?
The biggest lesson I have learned was continue to nourish. Continue. When you have a business, continue to focus on it growing. Continue to focus on it growing. Keep your mind thinking. Do not get comfortable. Remember when Sun Tzu said, he said in the Art of War, he said, you have to prepare for war in the time of peace. And that's what happens. We get so comfortable, we don't continue to nourish. And before you know it, the storm is there. And we're not prepared. And when that storm comes, if your house is not built right, your business is your house, and if your house is not built right, that storm is going to blow it all away, and you're just going to be standing there, sitting there, shivering. So that's one of the lessons that I learned, because if you're a businessman, you'll be able to do it again. You'll be able to do it again. You know the formula. You can get back up, and that's what it's all about. That's what I'm into now. But my whole journey and my whole everything I learned is about right now. It's about me giving back right now, right? Because I know I can make money. I know, so did that. My process when I went into the homeless shelter, I remember they called it a cold blue, meaning it was so cold outside that the police had to make everybody go to the shelters, right? And I remember sitting, and I got footage of all this stuff in the shelter. I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start my podcast from right here in this shelter, right? And I'm gonna show people how you can become someone just from here. I'm not gonna pop up on you a millionaire. I'm gonna show you from right here how you do a step by step and get yourself back. I'll show you I can do 100K saved, and it's not $1 million. My message is not for them. If you have $10 million, my message might not be for you. Maybe you can 10x your 10 million to 100 million, but mine is for somebody that doesn't have a dollar. That's what my message is for. My message is for people that doesn't even have a dollar, and I'll show you a step-by-step process how you could get back on your feet. And you might not have 100K saved in 18 months, but you might have 10K saved. You might have 20K saved, and that makes a difference in a person's life. That 10,000 makes a person who had nothing, and he looks up and he got 10,000 saved. He's a changed person. This person is excited about life. He's excited about his family. He's excited about helping others. And isn't that what life is supposed to be about?
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be down. You don't want to be depressed. You don't want to being depressed hurts. Being depressed is not a good feeling. I've been there. I know how the people suffer. It's not a good feeling. Right? So you need to get that light. Sometimes it's really, it just gets dark. But if you have a spark of light, just a spark of light, that can change a little, because now you can see down that tunnel, and down that tunnel, if you get light as you're moving forward, you could be able to see the end of the tunnel. And just hope. Hope is I'm telling you, hope is magic. And when someone got a little bit of hope, man, what they can do with that, man. I mean, we know plenty of stories of people who had nothing that came back. But one thing they all have in common, that they had some kind of hope. But if a person don't have no kind of hope, whoa, they in trouble. Right? They're in trouble.
And Thomie, you're also a dad. You're also a father. How did all of this affect your family?
Really tough. I tell you, I'm really fortunate to have a beautiful, great wife that was able to hold down them young men while I was gone. I got 2 great sons, Taj and Karan, both college graduates. One has his trucking business. One has a drop shipping business. I really have to give a lot of credit to my wife, because, being away out of some kids' lives for 10 years without a father is tough, right? I can just install the values from behind that wall, but it's really up to her and them to
implement it. Absolutely.
Implement it. It's very, very important. And family is very, very important. I mean, very important, because that's what kept me strong throughout that time, in those dark times, because I had the home. I have a beautiful family. So when I was home, my wife had to do that, because I was a different person. I turned into, like, gambling all the money, turned into a wild animal, and it wasn't me. And I remember coming to that door one day, and she said, "You can't come in here. You go back out there, and you come back the man who you are, because this is not who you are.
Tough love.
Is not who you are. Tough love it is." She gave it to me, and I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy that she actually did that, because no telling what I probably did, honestly. You know what I'm saying? To try to get money and try to do something, you never know what a person is capable of doing. You're in your savage mind like that. So I'm really, really fortunate. I'm really, really blessed to have her. Really, really. And now I'm trying to be what she did for me and save me. I'm trying to go back into the shelters, into the women battered shelters, and just to give some help. And I like to say that I'm a varsity coach, but I'm my own coach. I got to make myself number one first, then I can go back out. Right now I'm ordinary, but I want to become extraordinary, so I can make other people extraordinary. And that's very important to me. Very important. That's what. And my key is, I call it reward. It's like replacing expectation with appreciation. Because no matter what you have, if you could just find some joy in that one little piece of thing that you have in your life, that one little thing can brighten things up. I'm telling
it's
you.
reward, replacing expectations with appreciation. I love that.
Yes, because you can think like me. I say, I know I'm supposed to have the nice cars. I know I'm supposed to have the big house. However, I don't. But I do have a job that can get me back to those places, right? At least I have a Metro card that can get me on the train to get to work, right? You have to find joy in the smallest things, and the other stuff will come. If you just appreciate that little thing you have and continue the process, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I'm telling you, you're going to be okay. But you got to have the hope, and you got to replace. You can't be down. Oh, I don't have this, or I don't have that. You can't do that. You can't do that. It doesn't help you. You got to replace it. You got to replace the expectation with appreciation. Be
That's what I
okay.
love about you, Thomie, because you are such a positive, upbeat spirit. And that was why I really wanted to work with you when we first met,
Right.
right? Because I could
Right.
see
Yes,
that
ma'am.
fire in your voice.
Yes, ma'am.
You were ready to get back up again. And that was why I wanted to work with you. And that was why I wanted to have you on the show, because you have
Right.
so much positivity
Right.
that
Thank you very much.
if everybody thought the way you did, the world would be so much better. And you're not
Thank
afraid
you
to
very
make
much, man.
mistakes and get back up
No, ma'am.
again. Because another
No,
thing
ma'am.
that keeps people stuck is the fear of making mistakes, right?
Yes. See
But
that?
you're
Yes.
someone who makes your mistakes, learn your lessons, get back up again, do it all over again, right? So
Yes.
being in that place, Thomie, I want you to please share 5 actionable steps. So let's say there's somebody right now who has
Mhm.
lost everything. They've lost
Uh-huh.
everything. Actually, they have their back on the floor right now.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
are 5 things you could share with them to at least get their back off the ground?
Okay, we have to start with the mindset, right?
Mm.
The mindset. So we going, the first thing to start off everything is replace, the reward. Replace expectation with appreciation. Let's start there.
Mm.
That's the first start, right? So whatever you have to start somewhere, no
Right.
matter what it is. And then from there, you have to work. You have to work. That's really important. You can find a job. You have to start somewhere as far as the savings, right? You have to. That's key, right? Once you have that, that's key. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be thinking next step. See, if you're working hard and you're in that rhythm and you're replacing expectation with appreciation and you're saving, you in 3 steps because you on mindset and you gotta keep the lookout. You have to keep the lookout for what's next. That's number 3, but I'll show you how important it is. The people who are making money right now on the internet are actually the people who got in early, far as like let's say YouTube. If they got in YouTube 2010 is the reason why they dominate Instagram now, because they was already ahead of the curve. When Instagram was ready to stop to take off, they was already ahead of the curve. Like the young people that was on MySpace are the kids who were the grown-ups that was on YouTube that now they're dominating the millions of dollars online with Instagram and the other platforms. So we got 3. Stay ahead and think you have to be aware of next. So if you're working, what am I doing next? Am I going to get 2 jobs? Am I trying to get a better job? Am I trying to open up my next business? You have to be thinking next. And that's 3. That's 3. I will give you number 4 with save. Save is important because what save does is prepares you. It prepares you because now when something comes up, you're ready. See, people, it's luck. I think luck, but I know it's about being prepared for when luck comes across your path. When you're saving and you're thinking next thing, when it comes across your path, you see it. You're not blinded. You see it because you're already aware. You're thinking next thing. And the most important thing, when you put all of those things together, is surround yourself around positive thinking people that's like you. And I guarantee you the wheel will be already spinning. That's 5. That circle is if you look at your hand, that 5 is like a circle. And that's the wheel that will get everything spinning. You'll be okay. I'm not promising you $10 million, $100 million. That's on you. That's where you can take your limits. I'm telling you about a positive, happy life. That should be the most important thing. Because when you have nothing, that's going to be tough to have a happy life when you have nothing. But just get the wheels spinning. Just get the wheels spinning and get some money saved and watch how your life starts to just brighten up. And that's what's key to me. Brighten up. I can't tell you about the $20 million plan. I can't tell you that. I never had 20 million before, but I can tell you how to get your wheels spinning so you can try to get to the 6, 7 figures, and then you'll take it from there. You do your thing after that. It's from where you want to go from there. But I'm just going to help you get that wheel spinning. That's
Okay,
my
Thomie.
thing. Just get the wheel spinning.
Yeah. So you do have, we're working together on putting your course together, and you do have an amazing package that you want to impact the world with. You want people to learn how to get back up again. So if people are looking for you, because I know people will look for you after this episode, because you're just a positive spirit.
Yes, ma'am.
How do they find you? Where do they find you?
You can find me on my podcast, showing you the steps from the homeless shelter, which I'm out now, and I got a beautiful home now.
The daily bag,
no
right?
great condominium or anything like that, but it's my own, right? And that's the most important thing. That name of that podcast is called the Daily Bag Podcast, and it would take you on a journey of just those steps from the homeless shelter where I started it to where I'm at now to where I'm about to go. And you can also find me on Instagram at Finding Summit, because Finding Summit is me trying to find the highest peak of myself, trying to climb that mountain. I think that is about examples. Just like people have these mountains they climb, and sometimes like Kilimanjaro, that nobody can ever conquer this mountain. And once one person conquer it, it's an example, and then everybody else start to do it. So I'm like the leading example to show people you can do it. You can find the highest peak of you. So I have Finding Summit on Instagram, spelled just like it is, Finding Summit, all one word. And that's where you can find me at. And find me there, just trying to help others, just trying to help myself too, and just trying to send the light.
Oh, thank you, Thomie. You're amazing. You are. I
Thank
wanted
you
to
very
really
much.
tell
And
your
you are,
story
man.
because you are an amazing spirit, right? And I admire you so much because regardless of how much adversity, mistakes you've made, you always come back fighting. You always come back fighting. And that's the number one skill we all need to have, resilience. That spirit of resilience of, yes, I made mistakes. Yes, but I will always come back out okay.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
No problem. And I thank you. And you're a great person too. And I appreciate you. I love your podcast. I listen to your podcast. You know, my favorite one is the lady with the SEO, search engine optimization. She has a great
Jennifer
show.
Yan. She's
Jennifer,
amazing.
great, amazing. So you just keep up the good work and keep shining the light, because the more you do, you're my example. So I watch you. You know, I'm watching you. So, oh, she doing that. Let me do that. Oh, she that. Let me do that. So what you do, I'm right on your tail, so you don't stop. Because you got so many people watching you as examples, so you don't give up and you keep striving and keep on moving with the light, so you can shine it in front of us. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Thomie. I appreciate you. You're like a big brother to me that I never met, but that's
Thank you.
really beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Thomie. Thanks for coming on
No
the
problem.
show.
Thanks for having me.
Cool. So there you have it. Thank you so much for listening. And for more content like this, follow us on our social media handles. On Facebook, it's at Icandemy, the Facebook page. On Instagram, it's at Icandemy. Or come say hello over on my personal page. On Instagram, it's at Omoshola Speaks. On Facebook, it's Victoria Wallaby. Feel free to reach out, introduce yourself, say hello. I love meeting you. And if you have any stories that you feel will inspire another woman to action, I want to hear from you. I really do. I love hearing from you. Send me an email to hello@icandemy.org. So it's hello@icandemy.org. And if you find this content valuable, please rate and review on iTunes. Leave a review. It matters to us so that people can find it. So like, rate, and review on iTunes, on Google Podcasts, and everywhere you listen to your podcast. Thank you.